Hello and welcome everyone. Now my voice sounds a little shit. I got a sore throat thanks to my kids. But I'm going to play a game and I want your guys' participation on this one. It is the Blueprints. It is a game of choice, a game of options. And I have to retrieve a secret. But one false mistake and it ruins the whole thing. So, in the comment section, I would like you guys to say, hey, try this one out. Or set this up. This is for you guys to play along with. So, here we go. The Blueprints. Make sure you guys can hear it. Yeah, it's taking a while to load, so bear with it.
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
So there you have it. I had to find this 46th room. And I've tried it a little bit. I've actually spent 5 days actually trying to find it. And I'm like, you know what? I want my audience to partake in it. Let us all search for this room. Let's see here. What's this? Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you lose one step. When you no longer have any steps left, you'll be too tired to continue searching in the manor and must call it a day. Open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules for this commission, covered in the fine print of my will, that I felt I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads. Abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. With all my love and wishes, best of luck, Herbert S. Sinclair. Okay, so there's the blueprint. This is how I lay out the whole thing. So I'm going to try my best to talk, but during this I probably do the bare minimum just because of my throat. So, alright, let's put the hallway here. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Okay, I've restored my steps. Greetings from Reddington. Okay, I got a trunk that's locked. So I gotta find a key. I don't have any gems. Let's put a closet here. Yeah, I found a key. Single ivory die. While drafting, you may use die to roll new floor plans. Okay, so I guess I cannot use that key on this. Alright, so I've already made one dead end. Well, hold on. This has a key, a gem, and a coin. I need a key for that trunk. I see some floors I need a gem, so that comes in handy. Let's see what we got in this trunk. Keys. Alright, that's a good start. let's do a corridor. I don't see anything readable. Oh, I need another gem. So I'm going to have to go like that, I guess. A journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down on your notes and observations. Okay. A pad, scrap of paper, or perhaps most finally a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. Alright, so this is where the audience participation comes into play. If you guys see something or you notice something that I missed, just say in the comments, hey, here's what you missed. Try this out. That way we can get through this together. Let's see here. A small coin purse. Each time you collect 3 coins, earn additional coin and interest. Okay. Dear Herbert, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. But I'm being frank, it had been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles. And I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlor game I had played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colors. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Laurie. There will always be at least one box which displays only one true statement. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within, the other 2 are always empty. Okay, so I've been 50-50 on this. So let's see here. This is the black box, that's wrong. This is the black box, that's wrong. The black box is not empty. There we go. Let's do the spare room. Kind of gives me a weird vibe, but it works. Alright, we'll put the den here since I can go and make another path. There's the gym. That's a lot of clocks. Ooh. Alright. So we'll put this room in here. Ooh, there's a key. So what's this? Wait, there's a safe. Could this be the hint? Christmas, maybe? So, Christmas. Let's try month and day. Oh. Go to the safe. Herbert, I was distraught to learn that you have chosen to omit the details of our dear Marianne's disappearance from the public record. It is no surprise to me that the royal court would want this embarrassment kept as quiet as possible, but I'm shocked that you have a little regard for your niece, that you would play the king's scullion and stoop to kissing the foot that treads upon her memory. She gave up her family, her fortune, and her life, and all you can do is think of your name. Having never had a family name nor fortune of my own, I cannot personally condemn you for faltering in your commitment to make the same sacrifice she did. But for the love of God, do not, by that same display of weakness, clutch your petty assets so tightly that you undermine the cause that she forfeited everything to further. Our countrymen must be made aware of the prince she's paid, and must be made to see the color of the flag she flew as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. To deny her story is to deny her life. If through your silence you bless this betrayal, our son Simon, your heir, will inherit a fortune of lies, and will spit upon your grave when he learns of your cursed foolishness. Needless to say, we will not be coming for Christmas this year, Daniel. Okay, so there's something going on. That... Oh, look, a portrait of Flan. So pretty much I need to uncover a lot of secrets. I need to check every single room carefully. Shit. I'm gonna have to seal off a path. Staff notice, June 15th, 1983. Out of respect of the late Lady Clara S. Epson, the West Wing will be closed until further notice. While the floor plans associated with this wing have not been removed from the pool, we ask that staff members refrain from drafting them during this period of mourning. Okay, so I sealed off that path, which is what I was wanting to avoid. That's it. So... I hate to say it, but first day's done. Just wanted to write you a quick notes thanking you for the weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evenson. His typical personality somewhat made up for our own absence. I also gotta appreciate your new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen the billiard room in the house. I was getting to suspect you retired the floor plan. It was well worth the wait, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles and appreciate that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variations. Hope your health improves shortly. Alright, so, looking at the floor plan, I cannot continue. I've literally blocked myself in. So I gotta call it a day. This is the part I hate. But what I learned is this changes every time. The more floors you have, the more rooms you have, the more this expands and grows. And of course, Tuck will find me a notebook. I'm writing everything down. So I got the safe code written down. So far, that's the first thing we needed. It was the boudoir room. Okay, nothing's changed, so start with a nook. Ooh. Magnifying glass. A wood and brass magnifying glass inspects documents of the estate more closely. Okay, that could definitely come in handy. Let me get the parlor up, which we know it's got a game. I'll look around, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. This box is the black one. This box is the blue one. The box that claims to be black has the gems. I have a feeling I'm wrong. Yep. Oh, well, shit. Make sure there's nothing else around. Okay, so I need to put a dead end room here. I don't see nothing. Okay. I don't want to put a storeroom because I'll block off a path. Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we have just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should be cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. Okay. Let's build a path over. Want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Shit. I want to put that down. But I can't. I'll put a bedroom here. I don't want to put the chapel down yet. I want to save it. So now we gotta go all the way back. Oh, yeah, I forgot I made a dead end. Alright, so what can I put here? Alright, I don't like having a breaker room this close. Wait. There is something. Okay, so I gotta come back to this because there's something with those indicators. Let's put the hallway down. I'm not seeing anything in the nursery. Oh, there's a gym. What's this? The Red Prince. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies, and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true color, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard of that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book and turned his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. And do you know which book the prince always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad? A story he had read in the bath and in the bed. And maybe you can guess the clues that you have said. It was a story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince from his head toe to his head. And as you, my reader, might already assume, this book is quite near you, in fact, in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a red prince and his book, the red book we just read. Okay, well, that was interesting. Ooh, an office. I could disperse gold. Okay. What's this? Insert into one of the state terminals and permanently upgrade one of your floor plans. Ooh. Bridget, please check if any books matching these titles are available for purchase in Reddington. Flight of the Queen, March of the Count, Fall of the Lord, Passing of the Barons, Herons of the Major. Had a little trouble reading the Baron's writings, so I am not sure if the last title is intended to be hearings or herrings, but knowing Herbert, I suspect either would be suitable. So is there anything? Another safe. So hold on. The antechamber lever in the greenhouse is broken again. I don't think there is enough time to put in another order before Simon arrives. So just make sure the west and the east levers are operational. Press enter. Office can facilitate a modern distribution of coins withdrawn from the staff incentives program. These coins are distributed by the number of rooms currently active throughout the estate. Okay. Oh. I don't have a password. So let me upgrade a floor plan here. Oh. I could use gems more. Okay, so I gotta find the code for that safe. Wait a minute. Why does it look like... Alright, I'm looking at these statues. Let's see here. So that one there, I see 1, 2, 2 bald with side hair. Okay, so I'm getting looking back at it, it was giving me a date. Hold on. Both red letters had a number on it. One had 4, the other one had 8. Dear Mrs. Sinclair, thank you for promptly answering all our demands, not involving the police, and allowing this unfortunate transaction to transpire smoothly as one could hope. Again, sorry about my voice. And while I'm guessing you had hoped to never hear from us again, once we had given you back the envelopes, we felt that one final red letter of your own was merited given the circumstances. Hopefully you will not be as careless with this missive as you were with the others. Correspondence this incriminating should be kept in safes, not desk drawers. Let's first put your apprehensions aside, as I'm sure another red envelope is the last thing you expected to find on your desk this week. No, we are not making more demands, and no, we do not have copies of the other letters. You were already more than generous and accommodating, and the least we can do is fulfill our end of the bargain. So why write to you at all? Why incriminate ourselves further if we already have what we want? In a word, principles. After reading your elegant replies to our initial note, it became apparent to us that there have been a few misunderstandings. This letter is intended to clarify some of those points, and hopefully will place our schemes in a softer light. First, we may have gotten too excited with the colorful language of blackmail, but our goal was never to terrorize. Despite what you may believe, you interpret it as thinly veiled threats. Hold on. Towards your young nephew, I want to personally assume there was never any tangible danger. If we gave an impression we would hurt the youngster, it was meant only in the very vague sense of hurting his social prospects. And yes, while we admit that, our word choices might be questionable enough so that it would be reasonable accuse us of being intentionally misleading. We hope you believe us when we tell you that this was not a calculated ploy to elicit payment. However, as payment has been received, there is nothing to be gained by scrutinizing the questionable ethics that were employed in our extortion of those funds. Little defense can be mustered on that score. Additionally, any judgmental tone you may have detected when we discussed the content of your stolen letters was entirely unintended. We want it on record that we do not consider ourselves superior to you and your family in any way, and are in fact entirely sympathetic to the underlying cause that the letters pertain to, and you thought this letter could get more incriminating for us. Again, we feel guilty as sin, and only time will tell if the financial recompense will outweigh our culpability. Even though you will never hear from us again, we hope this parting letter will result in the thinking of us and our dealings, if not favorable, at least sympathetical. Sorry for the inconvenience. Forever Anonymous X. Okay. So as a rich man, you're going to have a lot of shit to deal with. Alright, so okay, he said a meal served, but I don't see a meal. Alright. So I'll put the storeroom right here because I need to stock up on gold, gems, and keys. Okay, dark rooms. Let me put a dark room in here. Okay. So I'm going to go all the way back to the breaker. God, that's going to waste steps. I think the breaker's here. Yeah, that's a lot of steps wasted. Alright, so is there anything in here? What's this? Print notes. HS has requested yet another print of her ladyship, assumed for one of her rooms in the West Wing, as well as an enlarged print of the enclosed photograph. He said the last development was too dark, so keep an eye on that. $11.28. $11.28 by a tree. So I wonder if this is outside, because I know there's a few places outside that you can gain access to. Okay, the maids. Oh, they don't look happy here. Is there something up with the maids? Why would there be a lot of pictures? Wait, what's this? Something memos found in Hartley's room are always false. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything else. I got 10 steps though. That's a good thing. Okay, so we've been to the West Wing before. There wasn't anything here. An order placed. Wait. Did they ever prove he was the one that stole the Baron's mail? Utility room fuse box indicator settings. Wait. Alright. That's the indicator on the fuse box. That's what we need. Okay, so it's for something. So I gotta make them all green. Okay. As I said, this game you have to explore. Hey buddy, how's it going up there in that big house? I think most people would be pretty scared being alone for this length of time, but I have a feeling you're doing just fine. I imagine you happy as a clan, perfectly content on this state with the exploration and opportunities for adventure. That present themselves each day. As I'm writing this, you're currently in the garage packing a tent. I wanted to try to post this letter before we depart tomorrow so that it has a chance to arrive during your first few days on the estate. But with all the preparations, I'm not sure that I'm going to find the time. There's so much I want to say, and I'm sure I'll forget to tell you Friday night. Sometimes it's easier for me to just jot this stuff down. You're yelling at me right now to come bring you a pillowcase. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. I can tell you're really excited, but I think you might feel a little guilty about being so happy the day after the funeral. Believe me, I know how long Uncle Herbert worked on setting this up for you, and I know from our conversations just how much happiness this final project brought him. So do both of us a favor, be excited. The house really is amazing. I know it's been almost 7 years since we were last up there, and I'm really curious to hear just how much you remember from those summer trips. You've always been smarter than me at this kind of stuff, or kind of thing, so I'm not sure how much guidance or inspiration I can offer before your trip that will actually be useful to you. Despite my best intentions, I'm sure that on Friday I'll end up leaving you with a few of my overused cliche expressions when we say farewell. Later, Alligator Dad. P.S. Get some sleep each night and don't spend all your time each day playing dirty blocks. Okay. So his dad was aware of this. Let's see. Let me do this. Oh, it's still open. I thought I would have to constantly unlock it. Okay, I want to put the security up, but not if I'm going to cut off a path. Sledgehammer. Okay. Stones cut blank by hand. Stones cut by hand. And there's something. Eight. Stones cut by hand and letters wrought do spell our secrets carved from thought. A message read is often lost among the bold words spoken loss. The note is read, the letter is not. Okay. So this is the workbench. Now, I am stuck again. I need a key card. Wait. Just wait. Hold on. Hold on. I know it said something about 5 purple indicators are needed to activate the 6th. That's what I did. Okay, well, I guess that triggered something. I'll have to look into that. Okay, so yeah. Oops. I never know when the key card doors appear. But here's what we're going to do. I have a code for something outside. That's locked. There's got to be a little tree or a little garden somewhere. Okay, that's blocked off. The hell's this? Okay, that's weird. And hearing like a wind gushing sound just makes it even weirder. Alright, so found a new area. Here's a gate. Can't be open. So I guess this is where I'm camping out at. The campsite. Due to the rules set forth by the great uncle's will, you are not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectful off-site sleeping quarters. Wait, is that it? That's it. So there's the tree that was cut down. So if I remember right, 1, 1, 2, 8. All right. Now what happened? The apple orchard has been permanently unlocked and added to your campsite. Starting tomorrow, you'll start each new day with an extra 20 steps. Sweet. Did I just unlock something new? Alright, so what we got here? The gardener's logbook. I'm gonna write that down. That'll be 04 10 92. When I first came to this state in the capacity of the new groundskeeper, I was a little dismayed, finding that my predecessor had kept no notes, no logbooks, and no records of any kind regarding the various gardens and green rooms of the house under his care. As a result of this improvidence, in the first few months of my post, I suffered a number of embarrassing professional blunders, and I believe could have been avoided even a few scraps of imparting wisdom from the previous groundsman. To that end, I will make an effort to make some record of my dealings on the estate, and as much as it pertains to horticulture, whatever that word is, and general tomfoolery. Robert Nagula, groundskeeper. Among my many commission duties, I have been tasked with the conservation and oversight of Mount Holly's alluring grounds. My domain stretches from the gate to gate and encompasses the apple orchard, entrance drive, and east yard. Fortunately for my workload, the maintenance of the west grounds has not been a priority since Lady Epson's death and the ensuing closure of the west wing. Nevertheless, I take some pride in my work, so I still endeavor to brush the west path weekly, even if none but myself takes notice. In addition to maintaining the grounds, there are 8 green rooms within the house that require some level of upkeep and light groundskeeping. The majority of these, I discovered, are only draftable by the perimeter of the house along the east and west wings. The terrace, patio, veranda, morning room, greenhouse, and secret garden all fall within this category. The soil survey. One of the first tasks I undertook as groundskeeper was to conduct a survey of the various plots of soil underneath each slot on both the east and west wings of the house. And while I would have preferred a full survey of all 45 plots of the house, It was clear that the inconvenience such an undertaking would produce was in no way worth the extra data, especially considering the rooms that would benefit from the survey only ever appear in the wings. To quantify to soil quality, I'll measure the soil's capacity to support crop growth and maximize the promise of high yields. The survey ended up taking 2 weeks due to some difficulty reaching the higher ranks, but the project was well worth the effort. As suspected, the room position has a direct relationship to the amount of fruit spread from gardens and the amount of flowers that can be bloomed in the greenhouse. Smudge pots. A few years ago, the Baron made the long overdue decision to switch from gas lighting to electrical lighting. The installation of the new system was a substantial undertaking. Almost every room in the house had to be equipped with new fixtures and wiring. Thankfully, these renovations did not extend beyond the mansion's interior, and all lamps and equipment used outside of the house are still connected with powered by gasoline, including but not limited to the orchard smudge pots. Smudge pots found among the apple trees here in the orchard are a critical necessity thanks to the cold temperatures and high altitude of the estate. These gas-burning stacks heaters prevent frost and should be kept on during the winter months to ensure a daily yield of apples. When the smudge pots are not in use, the orchard's gasoline should be turned off to conserve resources for the state's other gas-powered machinery and appliances. After a few months of idleness, I finally have a new cause to champion and have submitted a request for a change of scenery. Specifically, I would like to replace the statue of Orenda, currently in the cloister, with a much more appropriate angel Runa. After all, as beautiful as the statue is, shouldn't the greenery of Mount Holly be governed by the paragon of gardening? Though amused, I did not think Anne took the request too seriously, though she did humor me and listen to me rave and pontificate on the subject for the better part of our lunch yesterday. And she wonders why I avoid tending the cloister. Truth be told, I have forgotten how to access the inner girth and am too scared to chastisement to probe for the particulars for the third time. My best rendition pretty good considering I have only ever seen Ren's depiction in the chapel. Alright. So. I have opened up the apple orchard. And then there's a gate right here. So it looks like there's another picture I gotta find that's got a code there. Let me head back to here. So that's lit. So there's something right here. And I have to light all four. Alright. So, it's been a little over an hour. And you guys get the gist of it. Like I said, I'm writing down notes. I'm going to have something better because that can wipe off but I'm writing down notes. If you guys watch this and you see something I missed, put it in the comment section below. And when I play this again, I'll bring up the comment. I'll keep an eye out for it, and we'll go from there. But I want this to be one that we all can work together on. I want your guys' interaction on this too. So until I come back with the next video, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do, please leave a like. Hit the comment section. Let me know what I missed or what I should do next. But until then, you all have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Love yas. Bye!